Hi, Channel 4.
Channel 14.
14, sorry.
14, thank you so much. So I would like to ask you, I'll start by asking, why was it important for you to come here and see all of this in person?
I think it was vital to come and see this in person because it's now 1 month on since all this happened. And the world needs to remember the sheer horror of what took place here. And we need to get rid of the terrible fog that is coming down on the debate across the world and the way people are starting to make false equations between Hamas terrorism and Israel's right to protect and defend herself. And that's why I'm here.
Do you think the world really understands the atrocities that we've been through? You've seen it with your own eyes. You've seen the pictures. You've seen the houses.
Do you know what? I think the atrocities were so horrific that I think in some ways the world just is not taking it in. And it was so barbaric and so sadistic that people aren't actually looking at it. And they need to understand what happened here. And in the houses that we've been in, even in this short time, I've seen the absolute incontrovertible proof to me of families being shot on sofas and totally innocent people. And you can still see the blood. So the world needs to understand that. And people need to snap out. They need to snap out of this illusion. And it's very important now because Israel is being forced to conduct which was not their choice, but they're being forced to conduct an extremely difficult operation under the laws of war to try to restrict civilian casualties. And it's not going to be easy, and they need time and they need patience.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts about people who are calling for a ceasefire whilst we still have over 240 hostages in the Gaza Strip?
Well, they're just that. I think that while you have 240 hostages, including some kids, a baby of 9 months old, you cannot reasonably ask the security forces to stop their operation. Or to stop trying to find those who did it, or stop trying to make sure that it can never happen again. I'm not in charge, right? It's up to Israel to decide how to pursue that operation. They must make their calculations about humanitarian requirements or whatever. That's a matter for Israel. But I think that the world needs to recognize the extreme moral difficulties that have been created. And if you're going to minimize casualties, then it's going to take more time, and you're going to need patience and resolve.
Mm-hmm. And your thoughts about the pro-Hamas riots throughout the streets of London?
I think that people people around the world, in Western Europe, you're seeing the virus of anti-Semitism just come out from under the floorboards again, like a medieval thing. And it's appalling. But people around the world who are tempted to support those guys and to protest in their favor, they should look and see what I've seen. Because those guys did things that are completely morally different, of a completely different order from what Israel is trying to do now to protect itself.
Are you afraid that what's happening in Israel now is gonna knock on your door in Europe?
I think that I'll say this, I think that what Israel is doing now in standing up to terror is part of a general struggle. We faced terror often in my own city when I was running London. But we now see a wider phenomenon of anti-democratic anti-human rights, cynical forces. So the world has got to stand with Israel.
I'm also curious to hear your thoughts about the ongoing criticism within the Israeli society towards the coverage of the BBC of Israel, not just throughout this event, but throughout so many years.
Yeah, you see,
The injustice that BBC is doing.
I'm
to
a
us.
proud Brit, right? And I've come out to another country. Much as I esteem this country, I'm not going to attack my own institutions and my own media. I think what you've got to do as a Brit, if you stand with Israel, is you've got to make the argument back to the BBC and to everybody else.
Yeah, not calling Hamas a terror organization,
Well,
terrorists.
I think I don't understand that, but as I say, I think it's more important that I use the media if I can to get my points across, and I think that
Or to get the truth across.
to get the truth across, and I think that any fair-minded reporter, and there are many brilliant reporters in those organisations, they're looking at what I've just seen would agree there is no moral similarity between what these guys did, what Hamas did, and what Israel is now trying to do.
Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
this interview.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.